Hey, this is a fire matchup at 135. Jimmie Rivera, El Terror, taking on the young Punisher, Pedro Munhoz. Pedro's last fight saw a close loss to Frankie Edgar, but I know a lot of people thought Pedro did enough to beat Frankie in that fight. It was super close, very tough to score, but nonetheless, they gave it to Frankie Edgar. And Jimmie Rivera is coming off a big win over Cody Stamann. And this is a nice bounce back win for Jimmie because he had dropped two straight prior to that matchup. Actually against the 135 title fighters, Piotr Jan and Aljo, upcoming here shortly. So Pedro recently lost to Aljo as well, but he had three straight wins before that with impressive finishes over Brian Caraway and Cody Garbrandt. We were at that one. That was nuts. Those dudes just biting down their mouthpiece and swinging, and Pedro ended up connecting with Cody. But he also has a win over Rob Font. So pretty impressive stuff from Pedro Munhoz. I love this fight. I feel like it's perfect matchmaking for these two guys because both of them were so close to challenging for gold, but would always pull Jack and Jill and right to the top and would go tumbling down the hill. So who you got in this one, El Terror Rivera or the young Punisher Pedro?
Yeah, no, this is an insane fight, and like you said, yeah, Pedro had that great knockout with Cody Garbrandt, which they were just swinging. We were there. That was absolutely insane. He looked pretty good there. He's on that two-fight skid loss. So I'm going to have to go with El Terror. I think Jimmie Rivera, he looked so good last fight. It's almost like a new reborn came out of him, really showing the levels to Stand Man, and open up a can of whoop, And I think he's going to get it done just like he did versus Stand Man. I think it's going to be a unanimous decision, very convincingly in Jimmy's favor.
Yeah, Jimmie Rivera is an interesting case study because this is a dude who didn't lose for like 8 straight years. He was 21-1, was beating everyone. A lot of people thought that he was going to be, the next title challenger. I remember that fight against Uriah Faber. He smoked Uriah. Like, it wasn't even a close fight, and there was a lot of hype surrounding Jimmie Rivera. And then Marlon Moraes just gave him that head kick from hell and kind of really sent him back because since then, I mean, he's 500. And you mentioned that strong win recently over a tough Cody Stamann, and he did kind of look like a revitalized, almost revamped old version of Jimmie Rivera. So I'm hopeful, just because when Jimmie Rivera is at his best, he's a lot of fun to watch. So I'm hopeful as a fan that he comes back and looks good against Pedro Munhoz. But I don't think it's going to be enough because Pedro Munhoz is coming here, and I think he's going to smoke El Terror, to be honest. So. I think Rivera's going to make it interesting, but I like Munhoz coming in upset about that last fight. I know he thought he won that fight, and I think we're going to be getting a pissed off Punisher, so to speak, in this one. So checking out the Tapology, looks like 60% is going with Munhoz. Majority of it's beige, so they think that the decision is imminent. And 40% going with Rivera, and that whole thing's beige, basically. If Rivera's getting a win, Tapology thinks it's most likely via decision. Do you agree with that? Do you think that El Terror's path is going to be by decision, or do you see him actually sneaking a sneaky little finish on the Punisher?
Nothing would surprise me if either one gets finished, but I think Jimmy's going to get it done decision. Like, I think that's 90% the path to victory for him. But I think Pedro's only path to victory is he does an absolute Cody Garbrandt, no love, meat bomb 2.0 and drops him. But I think Jimmy, he's too grizzled. He's smarter to not actually get into those type of battles, and I think he's got a chin a little stronger than no love. So I think I'm gonna put my money on Riviera for this one for those reasons.
For sure, it's a huge fight for both these guys. Rivera is the -145 favorite, and Pedro coming in a +115 dog. So kind of interesting to see how the dog is getting more love with the Tapology community in this one. We might also see similar metrics in the Macy Barber fight. So make sure to check out that video. He's going with Jimmie Rivera. I got Pedro Munhoz. Check out the other bits, boys.